this shit, bro. I want the whole world to know this shit, bro. We support people. Look at my mom's stomach. Like, what did y'all do? What did y'all do, bro? Y'all weird, bro. Y'all weird, bro.
Eyelid droopage after Botox is more common in people who rely on their forehead wrinkles to open the eye. It's rare to actually get Botox into the eyelid muscle directly. Usually it results from injecting Botox into the frown muscle. Treatment is with eye drops used on a multiple basis daily for a few months.
Plastic surgery gone wrong. This is Sahar Tabar. She spent over $100,000 to change her appearance. She's had up to 50 plastic surgeries. She went from looking like this to looking like this. Many people thought she was trying to look like Angelina Jolie, but she came out and said that her inspiration for her look was the Cursed Bride.
Plastic surgery gone horribly wrong. Rachel Napier is a 29-year-old who wasn't going to get plastic surgery, but she went to one of these things called a Botox party, and this is where things go horribly wrong. After a couple drinks, she's like, all right, let's do it. So they inject her lip, but shortly after they inject her lip, she has intense pain in her mouth. She actually has to be rushed to the hospital, and when she gets there, oh my gosh, look at what happened. They did the injection on her lip, they accidentally hit an artery, and then her lips swelled up like this. This photo's 3 weeks later.
Now skip to my little Jersey. Oh my God, Leah, what the fuck?
Your booty don't jiggle jiggle, it folds.
She went in for a butt surgery but came out with no limbs. April Brown always felt unattractive to men because she didn't have a big bottom. Knowing this, someone at her job offered her a back alley injection from their home for the cheap. April, being desperate and really wanted to do it, got excited and agreed to it. The person then scheduled her for 4 injections. But during the first one, she felt odd because the person kept leaving during the procedure. So April requested it to stop. Turns out that person was injecting her with bathroom sealant and not silicone like she was supposed to into April's butt. And April ended up getting a staph infection from it that started eating away at her body fast. She was dying, so the hospital had to save her fast and ended up having to cut off her limbs to save her.
So, a thought comments, stop blaming her, guys. A lot of people enhance their bodies, she just trusted the wrong person with hers. And so in response to that comment, she didn't go to a legitimate surgery. She got injected in a person's home. She honestly can't be surprised. Exactly, guys. You pay what you get for. And it's just crazy that these females will try to be cheap on their own bodies, especially since they have to live with the results for the rest of their life. As you can tell by the videos, today's article is about a female dying from plastic surgery. And apparently this is pretty common. It's on the Daily Mail, which usually has articles that you can pull many red pill truths from. And that's usually the only real value from the tabloid type articles. So the title of the article is, New York City mother of 2, 30, dies from complications following plastic surgery in the Dominican Republic. Are you not surprised it's a single mother? Single mothers by default make bad decisions because they chose to be single mothers. Anyways, shall we get balls deep into this article? A New York mother of 2 has died from complications following a plastic surgery procedure in the Dominican Republic. Jesme Tapia died on Sunday, days after she traveled to the Caribbean island for a liposuction procedure on her buttocks, several digital news outlets reported Monday. The 30-year-old, who worked as a nurse and makeup artist in the New York City area, had to be hospitalized at local medical facility due to a post-operative infection. She was under observation in an intensive care unit where she died. Nurses get paid at least $60K per year, and she still had to get another job? Why? Because she wanted to live that city girl lifestyle and thought it up, even after she has 2 kids already. Did she actually raise her 2 kids with 2 jobs? She can live comfortably just being a nurse in upstate New York, where it's much cheaper. But I forgot. To her, that's lame, boring. Upstate has no vibe and is corny. Trying to live in one of the most expensive cities in the world while being a single mom just proves why single moms are the worst parents out there. A man raising those kids would have been responsible and practical and moved somewhere cheap, probably near oil fields to make 6 figures.
The secret to affording to live in New York City is to get a boyfriend, or at least get friends. Right now, I don't pay rent. I crash at my boyfriend's house. I'm saving money to possibly, maybe, have enough to put down like 10K so that I can get a closet and, you know, call it my own with some nice little like biomorphic shaped coffee tables. Before that, my rent was $1,100 a month, which is cheap in central Williamsburg. How did I get that? Because I had a friend. I had a friend that had an extra room. I don't know how. I don't know how you guys are affording it, but I am making it look like I'm living the dream, and that's all that matters.
Are we going to learn if those two kids have the same baby daddy, or did two different Tyrones smash and dash? Continuing with the article, Tapia's family in New York and the Dominican Republic have not commented on the details surrounding her death. They have not revealed at which medical facility Tapia underwent the procedure. She might have been from the Dominican Republic, or at least her mom, but it just proves as that bringing a foreign traditional woman to America is gonna corrupt her or her daughters. It's like if you take your car you just cleaned and detailed off-road, mudding, and expect it not to get muddy. Continuing. Local media reports said that Tapia suffered anemia and also underwent breast surgery, but in a statement released on Tuesday, her family denied the claim. I would not be surprised if she wanted a bigger bust. I think her family is denying it just to protect her reputation, as if being a single mom of two kids wasn't embarrassing enough.
Yes, I went to Mexico for a full mommy makeover procedure. While the surgery itself went just fine, I woke up with 14 blisters on my fingers. All I could feel when I woke up was just the burning pain in my hands. I wasn't told what happened until the next day. My surgeon explained that my hands were cold as I was coming out of anesthesia. I later learned that while my hands were wrapped up, my fingers were not. They were exposed and they were cold. The pulse ox was on this finger, so this is the only one that came out unscathed. Supposedly, a nurse had warmed up 2 small saline bags, and without checking the temperature of them or insulating them, she placed them directly on my hands, which in turn burned all of my fingers, except this one. The 3rd day after surgery, I began to worry when this thumb and this middle finger started going numb. I ended up going to a San Diego emergency room. They took me back right away, but I found out that I needed to go to a burn unit. They debrided my burns. I met with my doctor's team, and I also met with the hospital owners. The hospital so far has been paying for everything regarding my hands. And if you're a follower, you know that I create all these cool costumes and I use my hands to draw. Like, this is completely devastating as an artist. Not to mention, I also have 3 little ones at home. It's been over a month later and I cannot straighten these fingers out. I lost half of my dominant thumb. This one's still up in the air. I might have to have this one partially amputated as well. I have to live with this for the rest of my life. I trusted my doctor to take care of me, and I woke up to this.
I went to Mexico for a procedure. It's cheap for a reason. You're not hearing about single dads doing this, just the strong and independent women who claim they have a right to be leaders. And that single mom looks decent, but I guess she wanted to be a baddie at the club. That's the only thing I think of. She wanted to continue that thought life, and that gave her 3 kids because she's addicted to the new DICK. Anyways, back into the article. The Tapia, Collado, and Collado Vargas family totally denied any information known through the media and thanks you for your interest and support. The statement read in Spanish, "We will provide the necessary statements in due course. We request privacy to be able to live our pain." If they really cared about her, they would have made sure she wasn't a 304, which is how she became a single mom in the first place. Continuing. A person who spoke with DailyMail.com under the condition of anonymity said that Tapia and another woman had gone in early May to the Dominican Republic. Tapia's friend did not encounter any problems and is recovering from her operation. Her friend doesn't have any problems right now, doesn't mean she won't in the near future.
One of the extreme cases of plastic surgery. I'm pretty sure this is not natural and that she either got fat injections or silicone injected into her buttocks and thighs. Many people wondered if it's painful, is she's having a hard time living her everyday life, and I guess we would never know. But injecting this amount of fat or liquid silicone is not only problematic in the aesthetic part, but brain fog, fatigue, discomfort, migration are just some of the symptoms that may happen later in the years.
These females played Russian roulette with their own body, and one of them got deleted because of it. Why? because they didn't want to face accountability and work out or actually save up for the right amount. I'm pretty sure the facility isn't certified or up to standards with being clean or sterile.
All right, guys, so I'm seeing things like this comment again on my page, and I'm seeing recommendations for BBLs, tummy tucks, gastric sleeve in Mexico for less than $3,000. And we need to talk about it because the reality is there's wonderful surgeons and injectors all over the world, Mexico included. I know some of them, but they're not charging these super cheap prices. If you are going to Mexico and you're having something done for exponentially cheaper than what you spend in the United States, that should give you pause. The first question should be, why is this so much cheaper? So for someone like this who had a liquid rhinoplasty for $200, that probably wouldn't even cover cost of product. So you have to always be concerned when you're paying this little for an injectable that the injectable is from a split syringe. Who knows if they're managing it in a sterile way, if it's from a non-medical product or a counterfeit product. And I see this all the time, unfortunately. And you see all these happy stories on TikTok where people tell you how great their experience was paying almost nothing for cosmetic procedures. What you don't see is what us surgeons in the United States see is people coming up from Mexico, having horrific complications, showing up in the ER in the middle of the night, having no one to take care of them, scrambling to find a plastic surgeon or doctor that's able or willing to take care of their complications. It's really scary, and I'm just not okay with it being advertised on any of my posts. So I'm going to start deleting comments like this. And I just want people to have a good understanding of what you're doing. If something is that much cheaper, there's always a reason why. They're cutting corners in some way. It's either a doctor who is not properly trained or certified, because why would they do it for so cheap? They're in a facility that is not properly maintained, using medications and supplies that are properly sterile or maintained. You have to be concerned about this. This is objective, guys. I'm not trying to keep people away from awesome surgery that's super cheap. I'm trying to save your lives because people die from these procedures. Now, I know people are going to say this is just filler. It's not just filler. I've seen people with like some kind of weird chemical put in their faces, and their whole face became infected. They lost skin and were permanently deformed from things that were done in Mexico. And again, it's not Mexico. There's wonderful physicians in Mexico. It's this type of physician that does things for this cheap. You have to be careful of anyone charging so much lower than everywhere else in the world. It's just not normal. It's just not safe. And I'm just not okay with it as someone who takes care of these complications. For this commenter, I'm so glad you had a good experience, but let me tell you, I have lists and lists, as every doctor in Southern California does, of people who didn't. And we just have to stop recommending this. And I wish TikTok would start taking down the posts of people recommending these cheap surgeries all over the world. It's just not safe.
Continuing. The source shot down the reports that claimed that Tapia suffered from anemia and also had breast surgery. So I guess she didn't have breast surgery. And who cares about the exact condition? She chose a cheap surgery and died because of it. She played stupid games and won stupid prizes. Here's a single mom that did the surgery the right way.
So it's been 8 weeks since I got my surgery done. I am fully healed. I love how everything came out. Like, the twins came out amazing. I'm so happy. Like, I love the size that I picked. I picked 400cc, and I'm basically a 36D. I love how they came out. I'm gonna show you guys right now like a couple pictures that I recently took just so you can see, but everything came out like so good. So I took this picture a few days ago. I freaking love how they look. They're not too big. They fit my body perfectly. Here's another picture. I went to EDC and I freaking love like their drop. There's no more swelling. Like, they healed up perfectly. Like, I'm so in love. Like, the fact that I don't have to wear a bra anymore. They're even after breastfeeding. Like, I freaking love how he did. He's so thorough. Like, he made me feel incredibly like safe. Like, all the staff there, the nurses, like, definitely recommend it. Like, 10 out of 10. It's called Signature Plastic Surgery. Definitely would go there.
All right, skipping and continuing. Tapia lived in the far Rockaway sector of Queens. She leaves behind a 6-year-old daughter and a 3-year-old son. So her daughter is now most likely going to be a 304, because not only does her daughter not have a father in her life, but now she doesn't have a mother either. That hole in her life will usually be filled by a glory hole.
I think the only women who get lucky are the women who are raised by two parents who have good fathers who protected them when they were younger, and they're not as jaded as women who did not have a father growing up and were not protected, because you grow up in two different ways. So when you're sheltered and protected by your father, you're more feminine, you believe more in love, and now you're looking for a man who's similar to your dad. If you didn't have a dad, you're not looking for anything that's similar to you. You don't even know what the fuck you're looking for. You don't even know what you're supposed to be looking for because nobody told you. But when you have a good dad who works and is good to your mom and all this stuff, then you have an example of, oh, this guy's garbage. Why is he asking me to pay half the bill at fucking dinner?
And her son. At least he doesn't have a 304 mom influencing him. But something tells me the single mom is from a single mom household and her mom will be raising the son.
I always find men who grew up with just their mum are more likely to be cheated on. And the reason being is if they had access to dad and they saw for their own eyes that dad's a bit, he's a bit of a mess, it's not so bad. But when they don't even have access, mum just moved them away. What happens there is they start to put women on a pedestal. They think women don't lie, women tell the truth. And they also don't see wife behavior. They don't see that wives are supposed to come home at a certain time, check in or anything like that. So when they meet women, they're naive. They think women don't lie, women tell the truth, men are bad. That's how they see the world. And then they also don't know the protocol of what a married woman should be like. Whereas when you live with mum and dad, you see mum doesn't go out so much at night. And you see that mum's a bit annoying as well. Poor dad, she's a bit rude to him. You see both sides of it. You see how annoying mum can be.
Continuing. According to her aunt and local journalist Liza Collado, Tapia worked as a nurse in the geriatric unit of a hospital and also had a passion for her second job as a makeup artist. Why can't her passion be being a better mom? Or how about stay with the man that knocked her up? Why is it that these deadbeat single moms do everything except for being an actual good mother? You'd think having kids would make them more responsible because they have humans to look after. But no, they're still trying to live that single life.
I did some raw dogging on the weekend. I know it was really bad. I didn't even know this guy. Just walked past him at a club and was like, I'm going to have some of you. And I know it's really, really bad because I only just got my results back not long ago and they said that I was clean and clear. And then I hooked up with this guy. And you know what? When I was tasting that thing, ding-a-ling-ling, I thought, funny taste. But if I've got anything, I've probably got it. Slight form of exhibitioning, but not really, because it's not like many people seen. I ended up moving my car and ended up finishing off in the car. Anyway, I ended up jizzing all over this guy and it got a little bit squirty and wild. I gave this guy a little warning. I'm like, I get a little squirty. Keeps that rhythm going continuously. I'm like, it's gonna happen. And the guy's like carrying on. And once he gets wet, he has a cheek to say, I'm soaked. That's everywhere. Bro, you was loving that. I wish you wouldn't have kept going. Don't act like you don't love it.
Alright, skipping some. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or the CDC, has issued warnings in the past against visiting the Dominican Republic for surgery. In 2019, researchers at the University of Texas Medical Branch in Galveston released a report that showed that the Dominican Republic could be the most dangerous place in the world for plastic surgery. Let's be real. If it's south of the border and the surgery location isn't in a major city or a super touristy place, it's probably a scam.
Extreme plastic surgery fails. Let's see what he's got. Okay, this lady's really famous. She had body dysmorphia and she was self-injecting cooking oil because no doctor wanted to touch her. This lady got upper and lower eyelid surgery, a revision rhinoplasty, and an overpulled facelift. This lady's not the same as the next one. You see the nose is different, but she has bad upper and lower eyelid surgery and overfilled lips and overfilled mid-face.
Continuing. The study looked at cases of post-surgery infections during a 14-year period and found that nearly half of them were from the Caribbean country. I wouldn't even trust doctors who get their medical degrees from the Caribbean, because that's why they go to schools there in the first place, because they even got rejected by the no-name medical schools in America.
And the big problem with Caribbean schools is that they're not as selective. There's a larger chance that you may be admitted to a Caribbean school and not actually be competent and be able to hang academically. And as a result, you go there, you take all these loans, and then you get kicked out of school, and now you're left with tons of loans, kicked out of school, and you're like, what happened? Well, what happened was you weren't ready to deal. So as long as you're ready to succeed and be excellent, it's a fine path.
Continuing. According to the report, women complained of complications, and in some cases died, after undergoing procedures with poor hygiene from doctors who are not well qualified and in clinics that don't fully adhere to safety guidelines. The first clue was that the procedure was probably done at a house or in some back room, probably somewhere there wasn't a lot of medical equipment. There's even scam medical clinics in big American cities like Miami, the thought capital of the world.
The cheap clinics that you're referring to in Miami tend to run several rooms at the same time. The surgeries are not done by the surgeon, but they're done by the physician assistants. And it's really just a factory, and as a result, quality and safety is compromised, demonstrated by the fact that the mortality rate of BBLs in Florida, Miami specifically, is making national headlines. On the other hand, in Toronto, in Ontario, I am not aware of any fatality as a result of a BBL.
And these 304s take the risk because they want to be pounded out by celebrities and athletes so bad that they will take that risk. Because if you look at her photos, she doesn't look bad. I can see her getting attention, but not from these top 10% men. The Tyrones with a large social media following, even the struggle rappers who bought their blue check. Back to the article. The researchers highlighted the dangers of so-called medical tourism and warned that patients should reconsider traveling outside the United States for low-cost procedures. The March 2019 study was published in the Journal of Plastic and Reconstructive Surgery, and the team reviewed case reports published in various journal databases. They analyzed post-operative infections that were treated in the United States following elective surgeries that were practiced abroad between 2003 and 2017. Of the 42 cases, a shockingly high 20 were from the Dominican Republic. That's not surprising considering it's on the same island as Haiti, which is in total anarchy right now. There's literal warlords who cannibalize their people like they're having a Sunday barbecue cookout.
There's something extremely dark going on in Haiti right now, and if you haven't heard about it, it's probably because not many people want to cover this because of how disturbing it is, and we just don't have much information yet. But there is a cannibalistic gang running around Haiti, literally eating people. Now, I advise you to not look up any pictures or any videos because it is sickening, but the Prime Minister has fled, and the leader of this gang, he goes by Barbecue, which is absolutely wild. But this man is rocking a Freemason chain and a Freemason ring. It's just odd. But he said if this prime minister doesn't step down, that they can expect a full-on genocide and a civil war. And they're also calling out other countries, and things are escalating very quickly. And just keep Haiti in your prayers, and I'll be sure to update you guys if any other news comes out because this is a developing story. But
some other countries included Mexico, Thailand, China, Ecuador, Panama, and Venezuela. I think the super touristy places like Cancun and Mexico do have legit certified medical places, but again, I'm not surprised about this list. If you get an organ transplant from China, it's most likely an organ from someone who got kidnapped for organ harvesting. Yes, there are companies in China that actually do that. The article ends, the top 3 procedures that resulted in complications were tummy tucks, breast reductions, and liposuction. 2 of those procedures are all because modern women don't want to be accountable and work out and eat less. They want to be a glutton and still have a flat stomach. The breast reductions is surprising. God gave you milkers for a reason, to feed a village. As always, I wish you tremendous success. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember that if you leave the best comment, you'll get $5. Thank you so much for watching. If you found value in this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future uploads, drop a comment, and share it. See you in the next video. Till next time.